Suntarine, it seemed like you and Pete Golding had a solid relationship just throughout your recruiting process, and I think it came down between Ole Miss and Alabama, down the stretch. Just walk me through those last couple of months, and especially with Pete Golding arriving at Ole Miss, it kind of just seemed like everything was full circle.
Me and Coach Pete Golden, he been recruiting me ever since I come out of high school, hard since he was at Alabama, and Coach Pete, he a great guy, he a very smart guy, and I'm just glad he chose to come here and I can be on his part of the defense.
What was last year like for you?
Uh,
Just a lot of firsts, obviously, just through the SEC and everything. What kind did you take away from last season?
Okay, last year, it was, coming in from high school, coming here, everything was fast and had to get the step down for the defense. It was kind of, it was kind of hard coming in because they tried. I was when I first came in, they tried to put me at middle linebacker, and then put me at jack too. So I was learning both positions at one time. So me and Coach Pete had to talk. We sat down. He asked me would I would be able to play jack. I was like, yes sir, no problem with that. So, coming along with that, he came along with it.
It looks like you're playing a little defensive end this spring. In your mind, is that kind of experiment, or is that just to add versatility to your game, or what?
Yeah, it's just part of my game. Coach Pete, like yesterday we had a talk about it. We had a meeting yesterday, me and Coach Pete. He was like, this year, he'll give me another chance to play jack. Then next year he probably move to middle linebacker because get me ready for in the pros.
When we asked Pete Golding last year around you about you, he was talking about when talk about Suntarine and Perkins, talk about competitive greatness, and one of the things he referenced was your last game as a high schooler, I think, where you rushed for 300 yards, had 10 tackles, never really left the field, brought up the state championship and all that. And Lane said that was one of the best games, from a recruit that he had seen in person and all that. Just, how cool was that the interaction with them, especially after winning it all last year?
No, it was amazing though. First time ever, my high school won the state title championship. You know what I'm saying? Man, it was just shocking. It was just a shocking moment. I just thank God. I got a chance to experiment, and it was that.
Do you have any personal goals hitting the gym or size-wise that you had for the spring hitting year two?
Yes, sir. I got to go. Trying to at least get about 220, at least 220, 215 before the season starts.
I guess we've asked some of the players about their adjustments as far as their nutrition habits from going over the course of the off season. Is that one of those things that you've kind of taken the initiative on your end as far as trying to stay healthy and whatnot?
Yes, sir. Really about it, just try to eat by anything to gain weight. Yes, sir. Me and Mr. Manor, we talk every day about how can I gain weight, and so far it's going good.
How do you gain weight?
I mean, eat as much as I can possibly. Yes, sir.
Is there a specific thing that you have to eat a lot of?
No, sir. I eat I eat some greens, cornbread, stuff like that. Yes, sir.
I think you led the team, I think, in the season opener in tackles last year against Mercer, and then had a couple sacks against Alabama. Was there kind of a moment during any of the 13 games last year where it's like this is what I'm fully capable of?
Yes, sir. I just feel like I was getting more comfortable, with the defensive scheme, and it was just everything just came in place and it just happened.
What was the adjustment from your senior year of high school to freshman year at Ole Miss as far as the learning curve and whatnot?
The adjustment, everything just like I said a minute ago, is everything just fast, and you got to learn the playbook on your own. It's a lot of details. You got to read your keys, and so far, I mean, I've been studying every night, and everything come in play.
More questions? Are we good? Okay. Thank you.
Thank y'all.